This video will be just as impactful as the exact moment that you first tried GPT. I promise you that in 5 minutes, we will act as an SDR and be able to send a PVP, a permissionless value prop, chatting just with Claude and a permit database. Let's dive in. You're going to see what Vibe Sales looks like. All right. Start with Super Whisper. All right, what I want you to do is I'm trying to do some outreach to the largest roofing manufacturers in the country. So you have access to an MCP server to be able to contact the Shovels database. And so what I want you to do is I want you to identify the top 10 contractors that, based on the roofing permit notes, are using a lot of one product and not a lot of other, and they do a huge amount of volume. And I'm thinking about like Gaff, or I think Corning might be another one. I'm not sure. Can you go ahead and develop a plan for querying the database to find the top 10 roofing contractors that use some of one material, but a lot more of the other based on the permits? All right. We did a whole go-to-market cannonball to do this. This took us 4 hours. And so we're going to try to do it in 5 minutes here. This is the power of these AI tools. And so this has an MCP server, which means that we're connected to a live database of millions and tens of hundreds of millions of permits. Shovels.ai. Great. Oh, it's going. There you go. Past 2 years. Yes. Yes. This is great. Okay, great. Now, before we do it, why don't you also, basically, this is going to be, I'm going to reach out to these manufacturers, and I want to send a message to them about the contractors they should focus on. So eventually, we're going to need to pull in the contractor's name and information, counts that they've done. So why don't you identify what is the best output that a sales rep would want to use? And then also we're going to search the web for the people at these companies that we should reach out to. So before we go and query the database, also outline what that output looks like and your plan for that. So basically what we're doing is we're forecasting the model. I want to make sure that it has an idea about what I'm doing before we dive into it. Now, I did use Claude Extended Thinking, which seems to be a little bit better when querying these large databases. That's what's going on. Yeah. Yep. Okay, great. Why don't you call the real database now and let's begin. You kind of have to, you do have access to this via MCP server. I think you can like hit connect here. I think actually permits table. Recognizing. Great. That's how you know it's real. It's like checking the snowflake. Oh my God, I got 2 minutes to do this. Okay. Let's just be fair. Let's say that this rest of this video will take like, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes. Yeah, they always have a serialization with the date field problem. These are the types of like things that it's really nice to be able to chat with the database, is that you're not asking it to develop the queries. It's trying and it's self-healing. Great. And this was like an insight that I happen to already know. So a little bit of cheating here. Yeah, brand preference is really fantastic. And the nice thing is it can search the web, so we can finally connect up things. Now, the next piece is when it can connect automation platforms. And so I really think that these large language models will be our intelligence hub for creating and deploying AI agents, because you can dance with them. And then once they're good, you can dance the next one. And then stitching them together actually is the kind of part that is just interacting with interfaces. And there's no reason that interfaces should exist anymore. But there does need to be structure as to the process. And that's kind of the hard thing, is that the chat box is so intimidating. But I think that with some directionality that it can be a lot easier to do, which is why I try to teach you this. I did redo my entire second course last night, so it's in a really good place. I am this week. I will stay up nights. I think this week I'll be launching it. So stay tuned. And I think what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to embed my AI agent building course in that, so you'll get that too. We also have a series of emails so that you can, like, people are like, oh, what about the landing page? Like, we won't have actually, I might have a landing page. But then you'll be able to understand a little bit more about the course and make the decision. It'll be $1,000. So a little bit more expensive course, but I spent so much time on it. So can you kind of imagine right now, the slowest part of this is it just has to talk to the database. So if you can imagine that this probably is not going to get, well, it might get a little bit faster, but we're already at, malarkey. So you can see it's like looking in the count for mentions of these top brands. Wow. Okay, great. Wow, 97% brand loyalty. Wow, look at this. Okay. Oh, that's really interesting. So this is not exactly what I asked for. So interesting. They talk about brand loyalty. So we have the whole contact information too. We know their name. We know their phone number. Zero gaff usage. Okay. Okay. Can you help me sort of think through this? Because my goal was to actually reach out to GAF or whatever and tell them about their best upsell possibility. So if they use like nothing of someone else, well, that's not a great upsell possibility. I want to sort of find the great people that are and so think about this backwards from the message standpoint, which is I want to go to GAF and say, here are the people that are using some of your product, maybe 20 to 30%, but the extra 70% is like a lot of volume or like a high dollar amount. So why don't you orient around the message here? And that message essentially is like, 3 contractors per manufacturer and say, Jordan, these are the 3 best upsell possibilities where they have some brand loyalty, but they're doing so much more volume that these are the folks that you should go like partner with to figure out what you can do to capture more. I think if people are sort of all in on a brand, it's going to be really hard to oust them. So like Acoma Roofing is actually pretty good because they've got brand loyalty here, but I really want to know, and I want to calculate that delta of value, which is like if GAF had got all of that value, what would they do with it? Like basically how much money is it there and how many total jobs could they have captured? So go ahead and redo this backwards from the message to each of these major brands. So basically what we're doing is we're creating a PVP in like less than 50 minutes, a permissionless value prop, a message that people would pay to receive. And in this case, we're actually looking at customers that these folks already have relationships with, right? So it's going to be hard for someone like who's this person? 97% brand loyalty. It's going to be really hard to get this person to switch. So if I'm basically saying, yo, you should go after Heritage Quality Roofing. Also, my guess is that these people are really well known by GAF, and they're doing a great job. And so that's going to be really, great untapped potential. Sorry. The other interesting thing is that this person is probably really well known. Let's search them in the other screen and actually see. Yeah, so you can see here on GAF that they're like featured. There's a picture of them. Here's the reviews. And so Master Elites, they have certification. So this is actually, they have reviews. This is something that their competitors could tell literally just from their website. And that's not as useful information. So what we're trying to find out are, and I think we showed this earlier here, it's like where the upsell potential is high and they already have some experience with the brand. Yeah. So you can see 44% GAF, 29% Owings Corning. Why? So this is a potential opportunity. Now, the other important thing to note is that we need to know the the 22%, how much value that represents. And so we want to know like these could be 10 jobs, but they could be huge jobs. And so really what we're trying to do is tell the GAF people who exactly they should contact. And then the nice thing is we can use the web. Now, the next step of this, and I'm trying to convince Clay to build, is for Clay to build an MCP server, which is what I'm chatting with right now. And then go build this in Clay once you have explored it this way. Great. Yeah. Yes. This is great. Great. Yeah. Okay, great. Okay, great. Now what I want you to do is I want you to blend this all and actually send a message, not send a message, but structure a message to GAF. And so and what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a good sort of template for another type of message that I have sent. And then what I also need to do is you need to go find the people at GAF that I should reach out to. These might be local sales reps. They might be national reps, etc. This is the structure that you can use. You should abstract away from this particular email, but really it should be data driven. It should be useful. It should include all the numbers. There should be line breaks. So can you go basically create this from me going to pitch to GAF, and I want everything that I would need. So go find the LinkedIn URL of the person's name, or if there's 3 or 4 people at GAF, go find them, their name, their LinkedIn URL, and then put together this message for them and give one email format and one LinkedIn format. The connection request has to be pretty tight there. Create this for me. So now what we're doing is basically it's like, hey, we have everything, but why should I do work? This is why we have the large language models to do work for me. So, and by the way, I'm using superwhisper.com to talk to these models. ChatGPT, though, has improved their little voice thing. So you now can talk while it's generating text, which is really helpful. So we have all this real data, right? And the nice thing is the Shovels database has already enriched the contractor name and information. So we know exactly who they should upsell. Look at how crazy this is. Great. There's the email. These are the people I should message. Yeah. Across roofing contractors, within contract, already using your products. Yeah. This is amazing. Done right roofing, current GAF usage, total permit volume, untapped potential. Yeah. Look at that. It upsells the meeting for $62 million. It's a $62 million meeting. Yeah, this is great. I might actually do just a different message here, but oh wow, and he even has the series. This is so good. Okay. Okay, this is great. I would say that in the LinkedIn message, we actually should provide just the actual person that they should contact. So let's go do this for the next roofing folks. So the next manufacturers. And create this for everyone. All right, I got to stop this video because I can only do 15 minutes on LinkedIn. Thank you so much for watching. This is what the future looks like. This is the ability to talk to live data, write AI agents, check those agents, deploy the information, search the web. Soon, the internet will be our database. And once the internet is our database, which means we can access structured information and unstructured information and marry those things, the way in which we do outreach totally changes. So I'm gonna go send these messages, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching. Oh, Cannonball! It's happening this Friday where we're gonna do PvP messages like this live for some legal brands. Join.